Nithyananda everyone, welcome back to the Bhavasmadhi Darshan. Now we'll enter into glimpses of the glorious past. So in the year of 2004, on this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, delivered a satsang at Prempuri Ashram in Mumbai on 21st May. So he shared the important truth about the energy healing by Manoshakti. When the healer heals through the initiation, intention or prayer, there is a danger for karmic transfer. But when the energy healing is done by no mind, Atma Shakti based healing is critical, and based healing is critical for anyone who heals or receive healing to know. In his intimate style, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism hits the core truth when he says to release mental energy, you need to pray intensely. To release spiritual energy, you need to relax intensely. Moving to the next year, the year of 2005, and on this day, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, spoke with the participants as they began their Himalayan yatra and gave them context of the journey which they are about to embark on, as well as explained some truths which they have already done. Also on this day, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism performed the Bhumi Puja before they starting the constructions of the Ananda Sabha at Adi Kailasa Sarvanya Peetham. So in the pictures, you can see Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism performing the Bhumi Puja at the place where today the Ananda Sabha is there in the Adi Kailasa Sarvanya. Also, just after performing the puja, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism flew out for the Himalayan Yatra. So on this day, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, moving to the next year, the year of 2005, and on this day also, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was on the Kailas Himalayan Yatra, and we'll listen to some of the truths shared by Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism related with the Yatra.
Sadhurtam Namami. Today is the day, 15 years ago, the same day, almost the same time, I had my first experience of enlightenment. It's the same day, same time, same evening. It was Buddha Purnima, the sun was setting, the moon is rising.
Welcome everyone. So we'll now move to the next year, and we request all the viewers, you can go to the Nityandapedia and watch the full video from the Nityandapedia directly. So moving to the next year, the year of 2006, on this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, was on Himalayan Yatra with the delegates of the Sri Kailasa. Seen below are the pictures taken on the day 2 of the Himalayan Yatra. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Is also seen giving a discourse in the Rishikesh. The group stopped on the way, and Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism seen having a quick talk with all the participants. Moving to the next year, the year of 2008, on this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, conducted a session on preparing the Navapashana for energizing the Anandalinga at Adi Kailasa, Bengaluru, India. Moving to the next year, the year of 2012, and on this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, expounded on the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 32. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism brings the fresh insights to the old ideas that no man is an island. Although the quote is attributed to a Western poet, we see clearly that its spirit lies in the ancient wisdom of Sri Krishna. It's still relevant today. SPH lifts us beyond mere social applications by showing us that when we fail to share ourselves at any level, we are refusing our dharma and collapsing into spiritual ignorance. To decrease our physical time is to fail at the Shudra work. To refuse sharing wealth is a failure at the Vaishya, which is merchant or a banker. To refuse to share authority with others and solve problems in cooperation is failed Kshatriya, warrior politicians, and to refuse to educate to share knowledge is a failure at the Brahman, spiritual world. We ourselves become educated when we educate others, and ultimately our sharing carries us into the enlightenment. Sri Krishna tells us that Jnana Dana, sharing of divine understanding, is the greatest charitable act we can offer. Becoming a teacher connects with the God through connection with each other. Let us listen more from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on this truth of the life.
Paramahamsa Nithyananda, a rare living incarnation, is named among the world's 100 most spiritually influential personalities today. Paramahamsa Nithyananda has been placed alongside Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, Oprah Winfrey, Paulo Coelho and others by Mind, Body, Spirit, the world's top esoteric magazine, from Watkins, London's oldest and largest bookstore. A yogi by birth, he has been expressing his power of enlightenment since birth. He has authored more than 500 books in Tamil and English. Translations of these books are available in 26 languages in Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Hindi, Sanskrit, Gujarati, Oriya, Bengali, Marathi, French, Malay, Polish, Portuguese, Italian, German, Danish, Spanish, Russian and Chinese. He is also an exemplary speaker with over 10,000 hours of profound life solutions through his discourses. Social services such as Annadan, free medical care, free educational services with ashrams, schools, temples, hospitals established in more than 140 places around the world, offering exceptional services. A powerful spiritual healer who has healed millions of people of diseases from migraine to cancer. A Kriya Yogi who has formulated Kriyas for physical health and mental well-being, benefiting thousands. A living master who offers practical solutions for our everyday problems. He is the founder and spiritual head of Nithyananda Dhyanapitham, a spiritual powerhouse who has revived the sacred Vedic tradition by establishing Vedic temples in places like Los Angeles, San Jose, Seattle, Toronto, Ohio, Oklahoma, Phoenix, St. Louis, Malaysia, Brazil, Paris, Guadeloupe, Dallas, New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Calgary, Vancouver, Singapore, and places in India like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Tiruvannamalai. A spiritual guru for 10 million followers, an incarnation who transmits the highest spiritual energy through initiation, a contemporary yogi who has revived the Vedic science of yoga worldwide through thousands of yoga centers, an adept in Ashtamahasiddhis, mystical yogi powers, who has effortlessly awakened the Kundalini of thousands and graced them with spiritual powers, a dynamic young guru who is an inspiration for thousands of youngsters. India's most watched spiritual guru online, a beacon of spiritual light who has triumphed over the forces of religious terrorism and political persecution. Paramahamsa Nithyananda is an eternal Kalpataru, blessing the world with the boons of material abundance and spiritual enlightenment.
वन्दे पापविनाशक्तं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतं नित्यमुक्तं निर्विकल्पं ध्यानलोकप्रदीपकं वन्दे शान्तमयं बन्धं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम् आनन्दगन्धसञ्चारं सर्वोपाधिविनिर्मुक्तं वन्दे ज्ञानालयं नाथं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम् मीनाक्षी प्रणतोऽस्मि सन्ततमहं कारुण्यागारां निधिम्
श्रेयान् द्रव्यमयात् यज्ञात् ज्ञानयज्ञः परन्तपः सर्वं कर्माखिलं पार्थ ज्ञाने परिसमाप्यते. Translation: sharing of understanding is far superior to sharing of wealth. O scorcher of enemies, all these are actions and O son of Pritha, they all culminate in the experience of consciousness. Bhagavan is describing all forms of sharing and importance of sharing. Please understand, first thing, human being is not island as you constantly believe and made to believe. If a water you drink is poisoned, it's not that only you are going to die. If the air you breathe is poisoned, it's not that just only you are going to die. I am not even talking about the social network, that for you, you need to be alive, you need road, infrastructure, buildings, business, which is produced by the society and country, so you are bound to society and country. No, I am not talking in social angle. I am not talking in the level of society. I am talking even in the level of spirituality. You are not island. Delusion is believing you are island. Knowledge is believing you are connected to everything. Enlightenment is knowing you are everything. Ignorance is believing you are island. Knowledge means understanding you are connected to everything. Enlightenment means realizing you are everything. It is so unfortunate. Constantly you are forced to believe you are an island. Whatever education system, thinking system, whichever education or thinking or philosophical systems built on this one concept, you are an island, you are an individual. Any thought trend, philosophical trend, having this thought you are an island as foundation, basis, collapses, it doesn't have basis. Please understand.
The ingenious program, a field of all possibilities. The children in the ingenious program are directly under the guidance of enlightened Master Paramahamsa Nithyananda. Nithyananda is an incarnation and exudes the knowledge of conflict-free living. He states that enlightenment is our birthright. What an incredible gift for your child, a once-in-a-lifetime privilege to live and thrive in the energy field of all possibilities and give enlightenment to your child. Where every child can become a genius. Learning can unveil the genius in every child, provided it stimulates higher order thinking skills, positive self-esteem, teamwork, and an internal locus of control. Research has proven that holistic teaching methodologies paired with meditation stimulate whole brain functioning and result in self-directed, spontaneous, and creative lifelong learners. An enriched environment. When young children have an enriched environment conducive to early learning in life, they have higher IQ, cognitive intelligence, EQ, social emotional intelligence, and SQ, spiritual intelligence. These early experiences are critical for the development of the child. Peer pressure and destructive social conditioning can take its toll on the child. It can create negative thought patterns and destructive behaviors unless these enriching experiences are provided. An enriched environment includes whole brain activities which stimulate the utilization of both sides of the brain. The right brain is responsible for creativity, intuition, spontaneity, quantum memory, learning in a flash, and computer-like calculations. The left side of the brain is responsible for inner linear thinking and analysis. When both sides of the brain are integrated, performance is optimal. Brain yoga. Brain yoga activates the ability to balance the right and the left brain. This helps open the sixth sense. Children are given activities to balance both sides of the body simultaneously, using distinctive postures that stimulate both sides. The neurological brain patterns move from beta to alpha, increasing alertness and attention. Quantum memory. Quantum memory is a constant downloading of information without interference of the mind. Observation skills are directly related to memory skills. Reading without interference of the mind, reading at quantum speed, will lead to quantum memory without the mind getting in the way. Creative and performing arts. Dance, drama, music, sculpting, and design offered in the Ingenious program provide kinesthetic motor stimulation to engage the brainwave patterns, resulting in expanded creativity and resourcefulness. Sattvic food. Children are given the benefit of fresh sattvic food prepared to the standards according to the ancient Vedic lifestyle. The food is fresh, with fruits and vegetables. Vegetarian food creates radiant health in the body. Vedic cultural arts. Sanskrit chanting stimulates the brain to produce full brain coherence, developing clearer perception and integrated thinking.
It is built on the air. Any thought trend, whether it is Dvaita, Advaita, Visishtadvaita, Shaiva Siddhanta, any thought trend, communism, Judaism, any thought trend, if a thought trend bases its conclusions on an idea, you are an island, individual is an island, then the whole building, the whole thought trend, the whole philosophical conclusion collapses and tumbles down. It doesn't have basis. It is built on delusion, it is built on illusion, it is castle on the air. I tell you, any thought trend built on the concept you are island reduces the breadth of your vision and finally makes you completely blind. Do not think just because you are able to see, you have vision. Seeing is different, vision is different. Ability to receive this information, process it, and presenting it in front of consciousness is seeing. Consciousness taking cognizance and responding is vision. Capturing of data by your eyes is only seeing. Consciousness taking cognizance and responding is vision. You are not an island. That is the first truth you need to realize. So you cannot just grasp something and hold on to it. Anything you get is just ice, huge ice cubic. Either you radiate that coolness and make other things also part of ice, or this ice will melt and disappear from your hand. Enlightenment is just like an ice cube given in your hand. If you go on radiate and make all others also enlightened, people who are around you, you are saved and you save others. If you just tightly hold on to it and say, no, others should not see it, it's only for me, the ice will melt down, you will be having only empty hands. Anything, whether it is wealth, enlightenment, anything in the life, unless you share it, you will not have it. Why do you think so many people become poor? Their fear to share their power, fear to share their time, fear to share their life. Fellow who has a fear to share his time is a failed Shudra. Fellow who has a fear to share his power is a failed Kshatriya. Fellow who has a fear to share his wealth is a failed Vaishya. Fellow who has fear to share his enlightenment is a failed Brahmana. If you have a fear of sharing your time, fear of sharing the time with the world, I tell you, failed Shudra who has fear of sharing his time with others is worse than dead. Dead people are at least gone once for all. But these fellows will sit and destroy others also. Fear of sharing the power. I've always seen this happens in the top level. But the problem is, when I talk about the failed Shudras, some of the Shudras, they understand, yes, I am a failure Shudra. But if I talk about a failure of Kshatriya, failed Kshatriya, immediately they say, oh, then problem is there only. Failed Shudras and failed Kshatriyas, both are cancer. But one cancer laughs at the other cancer and says, let him be healed, let that cancer be healed first, then I'll heal. But fool, you don't understand, the cancer is for you. Don't wait till the other person's cancer is healed. Before that you may die. Cancer is not mental disorder. When he has a mental disorder, why not me also? Cancer is a physical disorder. Understand? Failed Kshatriya, a failed Shudra, failed Vaishya and failed Brahmana is a physical disorder. Heal it first for yourself. I know the modern day youth is really suffering. Humanity has never faced this crisis. I have created a 1-year program where you can study the spiritual truths.
Nitya Yoga practices to create healthy body, spiritual discourses to develop mental health, meditations that help balance emotions, kriyas to break mental patterns that create suffering, opportunity to express leadership qualities, techniques that improve creative skills. Learn to break all self-limiting barriers to achieve your dreams. Ananda Yogam.
I am providing a platform for you to think, meditate, contemplate and decide about your future. I am giving you 1 year free food, shelter, clothes, above all the spiritual education and intelligence and intuition to take decision about your future.
Every participant is taught the Vedic truths to live life as it leads in a nurturing ambience, along with inspirational spiritual education that helps bring out the best and achieve one's highest potential.
Youth across the world can come and spend a year in Ananda Yogam to work on you to discover your future, to discover your destiny or recreate your destiny. I'll open my house for you for 1 year completely free. Come and stay here, discover and recreate your destiny.
Interviews at Nithyananda Dhyanapitham, Nithyananda Nagar, Bidadi, Bengaluru, 97422 03311. क्या आप स्वयं एक अवतार पुरुष से अपने जीवन में दिव्य मार्गदर्शन चाहते हैं? प्रस्तुत करते हैं अवतार पुरुष से वार्ता।
Nithyananda here.
परमहंस नित्यानंदा संसार को एक और अतुल्य और अनोखी भेंट दे रहे हैं।
You got practically everything and too much for a phone call.
अब वो लाइव किसी के भी प्रश्नों का उत्तर स्वयं देंगे।
That's great. No, you ask anything you want in your life. Ask me any boon you want.
8 से प्रारंभ। कुछ सौभाग्यशाली लोग जो 08027279999 पर फोन करेंगे, वो स्वयं स्वामी जी से बात कर सकते हैं। लाइव देखें NTV पर ntv.nithyananda.org।
See, for example, if one fellow has too much of ego, which is a mental disorder, the other fellow says, when he has so much ego, why not me also? Let me also have. But if one fellow is having H1N1 or HIV, will you say, when he is having, why not me? No. Understand, failed Shudra, failed Kshatriya, failed Vaishya, failed Brahmana is a physical disorder. It is not mental disorder. Because when you are afraid to share your time, you are handicapped. You don't do anything. You don't think. Let me translate these 4 words. Vaishya, Brahmana, Kshatriya, for the sake of your understanding. When I say Vaishya, I mean entrepreneur. When I say Kshatriya, mean person empowered. When I say Shudra, I mean who is supposed to work, execute. When I say Brahmana, who is supposed to be enlightened. A failed entrepreneur is a fellow who is not willing to share his wealth. Understand, sometime they will be making millions of rupees, but they will be afraid to have few staff and employees with 10,000 salary. They'll say, if I have 10,000, every month I will be spending 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. It means 1 year, 1,20,000. But if I don't make that much money, what will happen? Fool, every month the way you are spending, you are going to make it. But you don't have confidence. When it comes to making, you forget the number. When it comes to spending, you are calculating the number widely. You think, I have only 1 million rupee. In 1 year, his salary alone will be 1,20,000 rupee. What will happen to me? Fool, the 1 million rupee is not going to be just 1 million rupee throughout the year. The income of the year is not calculated, but the expense of the year is calculated, and projects are frozen or given up. Only these type of people are called failed entrepreneurs. You can see in your life, by being too cautious, you get into your grave and lock yourself because you think that is the most safest place. Maybe true, but that is not the place to live. Sharing, whether it is in the outer world or in the inner world, is the secret of life. Sharing is the secret of life. Go on sharing. Go on sharing. Go on sharing. I tell you, the most healthiest period of my life, please understand, it's not that now I am not healthy. The optimum health I felt in my life intensely is my Parivrajaka period. When I digged out inside my inner space, what was the reason I had that feeling? Because I had the vow, physically, mentally, in both ways, whatever, whoever asks if I have it, it is theirs. Literally, I had this vow. Of course, even now, in consciousness I play that role. I play that game. But as far as the matter is concerned, it started getting stored for an organization. I tell you, a basic law. Anything shared will make you healthy. Even the spiritual ideas. While you are growing spiritually, go on, share the ideas you get during the path, during the travel. Understand? Now all of you will have some spiritual ideas about life, death, work, consciousness, all that. It is not ultimate truth. But whatever you realized, you understood, go on sharing with the world. I tell you, that sharing will make you matured. Educating is the best way for education. Sharing is the best way to be rich. Offering is the best way to have. Failed Shudra, failed Kshatriya, failed Brahmana, and failed Vaishya means failed entrepreneur, An entrepreneur fails when he has an insecurity to share his wealth. A worker fails when he has an insecurity to share his time, his performance, his skill. A leader, empowered being fails. Empowered person fails when he is insecure to share his power. I tell you, when you make more and more leaders, you become leader of leaders. One good person asked me, what is this? You are putting all your teachings and kriyas, everything freely in the website. I said, in future, each one of my kriyas will become one sampradaya separately, independently. Because some guru will take up this kriya and teach and popularize it all over the world. By creating hundreds and hundreds of gurus, I'll be guru of gurus, Jagat Guru. Jagat Guru is not just being guru, who is guru of gurus, who goes on creating gurus. Share the power, share the knowledge. If you are empowered, go on empowering others. Go on sharing. When you make more and more people powerful, you became leader of powerful people. I went on teaching people how to heal, initiating people on healing, went on sharing, but I never lost anything. So even if your ideas are not ultimate truth, whatever you realize now, go on sharing with the world.
ब्रह्ममुरारिसुरार्चितलिङ्गं निर्मलभाषितशोभितलिङ्गं जन्मजदुःखविनाशकलिङ्गं जन्मजदुःखविनाशकलिङ्गं तत्प्रणमामि नित्यानन्दलिङ्गम्।
ॐ नमो भगवते रुद्राय नमस्ते रुद्रमन्यवपुतो दयिषवे नमः नमस्ते अस्तु धन्वने बाहुभ्यामुदते नमः या जयिषुः शिवतमा शिवं बभूव ते धनुः शिवा शरव्याया तवतया नो रुद्रमृडय या ते रुद्र शिवा तनूरघोर पापकाशिनी तया नस्तनुभाषन्तमया गिरिशन्ताभिजागशीः या विशृङ्गिरिशन्तहस्ते विभष्यस्तवे शिवाङ्गिरित्रतां कुरुमाहि पुंसेः पुरुषं जगते शिवेन वचसा त्वा गिरिशाच्छा वदामसि यथा नः सर्वमिज्जगदयक्ष्मगुं सुमना असत् अद्य वोचदधिभक्ता प्रथमो दैव्यो वृषगे अहेहश्च सर्वान् जम्बयन् सर्वाश्च यादुत्राण्यः असौ यस्ताम्रो अरुणपुत भभ्रस्व मङ्गलः ये चेमागुं रुद्र अभितो दिक्षु श्रुता सहस्रशो वै शागुं हेडयीमहे असव्यो वसर्पति नीलग्रीवो विलोहितः उदैनं गोपा अदृशन्नदृशन्नुदहार्यः उदैनं विश्वा भूतानि सदृष्टो मृडयातिनः नमो अस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय ईडुषे अधो ये अस्य सत्त्वानोऽहं तेभ्यो करन्नमः प्रमुञ्चदन्वनत्वमुभयोरार्ध नाश्च ते हस्त इषवः परात भगवो वप अवदत्यरनुस्त्वगुं सहस्राक्षशतेषु ते निशीर्याणवागुम् उत अनेशन्नस्येषव आपुरस्य निषङ्गतिः या ते हेतिर्मेडुष्टमहस्ते बभूव ते धनुः तयास्मान् विश्वतस्त्वमयक्ष्मया परिभुज नमस्ते अस्त्वायुधाय नातताय धृष्णवे उभाभ्यामुदरे नमो बाहुभ्यां तव धन्वने परिधे धन्वनो हेतिरस्मान् प्रणक्तु विश्वतः अथो ययिषुधिस्तवारे अस्मन्निधेहितम् नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठमृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदा शिवाय शङ्कराय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः नमो हिरण्यवागवे सेनान्ये दिशां च पतये नमो नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यः पशूनां पतये नमो नमः सस्मिञ्जराय त्रिशीमते मदीनां पतये नमो नमो बभ्नुषाय विव्याधिने नानां पतये.
I tell you, the teachers who teach in our organization are the most spiritually grown people because they are constantly reminded of the truths when they speak and teach to others. When you stop sharing with the society, interacting with human beings, naturally you become a dirty pond. Putramarai kulam vitramarai kulamanadu. The pond with golden lotus, which was supposed to be golden lotus, has become pond with mud. Bhagavan is so clear in this verse. Shreyan dravyamayat yanyat jnana yanya parantapa sarvakarmagilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Sharing of understanding is far superior to sharing of wealth of all forms. O scorcher of enemies, all these are actions, and O son of Pritha, they all culminate in the experience of consciousness. Please understand, Bhagavan emphasizes on the sharing. Sharing of knowledge, enlightenment, is much better than any other sharing, like Annadan, Vidyadan, Vaidyadan. Jnanadan is ultimate than all these many other dans. Bhagavan assures, Jnanadan finally makes you experience, it culminates in Jnananubhuti itself. When you share knowledge, when you go on sharing, finally that itself becomes your own enlightenment. I can see very clearly, when Jnanasambandar entered Madurai, he entered as a experienced being. But when he went out of Madurai, he is a spiritual leader. When he shared his knowledge and transformed few people and conquered few people, the personality of leader, the qualities of leader started expressing in the great being Tirunjana Sambandar. Of course, when he entered Madurai, he was an enlightened being, a Jivan Mukta. When he went outside Madurai, after establishing this Madurai Adhinam, he is a spiritual leader, not just spiritually enlightened being. Each sharing contributes something to you, enriches you. Bhagavan is so clear, sharing of understanding is far superior to sharing of wealth in any form or all forms. O scorcher of enemies, all these are actions, and O son of Pritha, they all culminate in the experience of consciousness. That's it. I tell you. Intensity means ability to fight with your own patterns. If you start fighting with others' patterns, your intensity has dried up. You feel now, enough. Why should I always fight with my patterns? Let me fight with his patterns also. When I am transforming with 10 patterns, he is not transforming even with 3 patterns. Let me fight with him. Intensity means fighting with your own patterns. If you are fighting with others' patterns means you are in tension, not intense. No. Fighting with your own pattern is intensity. Fighting with others' patterns is tension. Come on. It is time we fight with our patterns. War means you fighting with others' patterns. Peace means you fighting with your own patterns. That's all. You fighting with your own patterns is peace. You fighting with others' patterns is war. Shreyan divyamayat yangyat jnana yangya parantapa. Sarvam karma kilam partha jnane parisamapyate. The essence, sacred secrets you need to know from this verse is sharing is the ultimate virtue. In any level, if you share, you go on expanding. When you don't share, you destroy yourself. Go on sharing, sharing, sharing. It will culminate in enlightenment. If you fight with your own patterns, it is peace. If you fight with others' patterns, it is war. Whether you want to make war or peace is up to you.
Moving to the next year, and this year is the turning point of living the election. In the presidential letter, Nithyananda from Varanasi, expanded on the living way. Said that for 6 months after generation program, it is necessary to be very brief and complete to the years of nature. And we experience sadness, boredom, or impossibility. Look into it and decide to multiply. We start with some solutions. Year of 2016, and this was spent on the day, the monitoring the currency and preferential and supporting from the Varanasi. This is entered into a weekly narrative. Narrative how the cosmic space is created for delivery of enlightenment. The reality with the Shanti Mantra teaching vocations. This is the context of the future vision for Indian education system. This comes from the right path. One needs to prepare for the death to prepare for life. On very the sky is a farmer, the cycle to feel the pain of human existence. A master needs to intrinsically deliver the truth as it is. Yamadharma is like the full-time job of granting death. The most important reality of humans is uncompromising in revealing the classical facts in the world. Because of the simplicity of Nachiketa, one of the greatest disciples who have happened on the intensity of Yamadharma is the master. The stage is created for enlightenment and is lived by the moving to the next year, the year of 2016, on this day, between India and Hinduism, conducted the Reconciliation program of the Mandala India and initiated participants into experimental spiritual path. On 23rd of May, we explained about the external path which stands to the Ashtakandamari initiate. the year 2017, on this day, the Supreme Council of Hinduism, Nithyananda Paramashivam Presidency Level, expounded on the fundamental reasons why we should live with integrity system. Time is a living energy which is a powerful viewer, moving our inner space, either aligning or misalignment with our consciousness. Our inner space is like a mirror that is fixed on a wheel. That wheel is connected to time. And the energy, which is one of the dimensions of the cosmos, if you are integrated to time, your inner space aligns to reflect consciousness in all its spheres. A mirror can completely distort sun or mirror a space. And the mirror of space shines literally at sun. It is equivalent to sun. Same when you inner space mirror superconsciousness purely, it is equivalent to superconsciousness. Is that here is the sea at the time line during our space to the cosmic consciousness. If that mirror is not in tune with the time, it misaligns or disaligns the cosmic thought, superconsciousness. Moving to the next year, the year of 2018, and this year Supreme Council of Hinduism, Nithyananda Paramashivam, expounded on the cosmic principle of time during the everyday life of the thought and soul section. And start entitled integrity to time helps to mirror superconsciousness. The Supreme Concept of Living reveals the same the living union power and one of the dimensions of the cosmos. He explained that if we are integrated to time, your inner space aligns to reflect the consciousness in all its states. Therefore, integrity is a time is an important ingredient for success and enlightenment. Moving to the year 2020, on this day, Supreme Concept of Hinduism revealed that Tyaga liberates us from the powerful, logically convincing beliefs. Later, Supreme Concept of Hinduism personally visited all the delegates into the Vidyaram and Diksha. In the telecast, Supreme Concept of Hinduism especially recalled and thanked Antikam Kotu Chandrasekhar Mahaswamiji for ensuring that the SPH Guru included the Savanyatra Agama in his scriptural experience, as it said. The SPH worked further on raising the consciousness of the delegates by defining them with the Paramashivoham darshan for the day. With this, let's get ready for the live section.
Paramashiva's direct message from Kailasa. Listen. Paramashiva's superconscious mutation manifestations. When he superconsciously mutated, his manifestations, 64 manifestations documented in Veda Agamas, which he himself describes. Manifesting all of them in you is the complete manifestation of Paramadvaita. Listen. Paramashiva's own superconscious mutation manifestations, 64 manifestations he himself describes in Vedagamas. Lingamurti, Lingodbhavamurti, Sadashivamurti,
Mahasadashivamurti, Umamaheshwaramurti, Sukasanamurti, Umeshamurti, Somasgandamurti, Vrishabhantikamurti, Natarajamurti, Dakshinamurti, Mahakalabhairavamurti, his own 64 superconscious mutation manifestations, initiating all of you into this, making all of you manifest this 64 is the message from Paramashiva directly from Kailasa. Listen, I'll put this document, introduction about all these 64, today in the Facebook page as usual, along with the gist of the satsang. I want all of you to please read it at least once. You write down, so you have an initial introduction about the names and who they are